know for us in the media we have a term talking about legacy players, where players arrive in the scene, don't really change the game, but refine it, hone it, and make it more direct for their followers, for the team they're playing for new fans of the NHL and old fans. Now this guy, Team Canada all the way from the time he played with Swift Current in Major Junior to his many seasons with Quebec and Colorado. He was a hero, a leader, and for me, I know it sounds kind of weird, not underrated in Canada, but underrated in the States. If Joe Sakic was American, he would probably be a billionaire by now with endorsements and everything else. But we're going to talk about Joe Sakic and the wide range of results that led him to the Hall of Fame, led him to be one of the most respected international players for Canada ever. And it's a very simple story, but very complex at the same time. Because when you call you Mr. Clutch, you got to be good. Now, Joseph Steven Sakic is currently an ice hockey executive, and he played his entire 21-year National Hockey League career with the Nordiques, who eventually moved to Colorado. That combination, what they call expansion, NHL expansion, WHA to NHL, West Coast, moving anyway. He was named captain of the team in 1992 after serving as a co-captain in 91, his first years in the league, and again regarded one of the greatest team leaders in NHL history. Now, he took mediocre squads and made them better. The Nordiques got much better under his tutelage, or under his, what he called, watch. And that was the Guy Lafleur years where they were struggling. But Sakic was always the one that said, let's go out and do our best. Now, he led the Avalanche to Stanley Cup titles in 96 and 2001. Him and Patrick Roy were the key players. He was also Connie Smythe Trophy winner in 96. He was also honored as the MVP of the NHL in 2001, which was many years after the start of his career. Now, he's one of 6 players to participate in both of the team's Stanley Cup wins, and he was named to 13 All-Star teams and was an NHL All-Star center 3 times. Now, born in Burnaby, BC, he's considered one of the most productive forwards in the game, having twice scored 50 goals and earning at least 100 points in 6 different years. His wrist shot, considered one of the best in the NHL, was a source as much as his production. At the conclusion of the 2009 season, he was 8 all-time with points leader in the NHL, 14 in goals, and 11 in all-time assists. During the 2002 Winter Olympics, of course, he helped lead Canada to their first gold in 50 years and was event MVP. Now, he represented the squad in 600 international events, including the 98 and 2006 Winter Olympics. Now, when he retired from the NHL on July 9, 2009, he had his jersey number retired, and he was put in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2012, along with Adam Oates, Pavel Bure, and Matt Sundin. Now, on April 11th, he and 11 others were inducted in the Canada Sports Hall of Fame. Now, he also served as executive director and alternate governor for the Avalanche from the end of the 2011 season, and was promoted to VP of Hockey Operations May 10, 2013. And again, he's been named one of the greatest NHL players in history in a recent straw poll. Now, again, born in Burnaby, his family was immigrants to Canada. He was unilingual Croatian and did not learn to speak English well until kindergarten, having been raised with the language as his mother tongue. Now, at the age of 4, he went to his first NHL game, a contest between Vancouver and Atlanta, and after watching the game, Sakic decided that he wanted to become a hockey player. As a smaller skater, he's forced to use his skill rather than size to excel, and he emulated Wayne Gretzky. Now, 5'11" for center is considered slightly small in a modern game, and that's why he was using his skill game to work against that disadvantage. Now, showing big promise as a young player, Sakic was oftentimes referred to as a new Wayne Gretzky in the making. He eventually scored 83 goals and 156 points in gaining 80 games with Burnaby while attending school at Burnaby North Secondary. Soon after, he was added to the Lethbridge Broncos of WHL for the 86 season. Now, during the 87 campaign, the Broncos relocated to Swift Current, Saskatchewan, becoming the Swift Current Broncos. Now, Sakic played his first mid-junior full season, was named Rookie of the Year, with 60 goals and 73 assists for 133 points. But while Sakic enjoyed success in the ice, he and his team faced a tragedy on December 30th, 86. They were driving to a game against the Regina Pats, and due to bad weather, the bus crashed after the driver lost control on a patch of black ice. Now, although Sakic was unharmed, 4 of his teammates, including Trent Cressy, Scott Kruger, Krish Mantika, and Brent Ruff, were killed. The incident had a lasting impact on the young Sakic, who declined to talk about the crash throughout his career. The next year, in '88, he was named the WHL's most valuable player and Canadian Major Junior Player of the Year. He notched 160 points, including 78 goals, tying with the great Theo Fleury of the Moose Jaw Warriors for the WHL scoring title. Now, taken 15th overall, can you imagine? By the Nordiques in the '87 NHL entry draft, a pick the Nordiques received when he traded away Dale Hunter and Clint Malarchuk to the Capitals. Rather than make the immediate jump, he told the Nordiques management he would prefer to spend the '88 season in Swift Current to prepare for the NHL. Now, he made his NHL debut October 6, '88 against Hartford, who was scoring an assist. His first NHL goals came 2 days later against goalie Sean Burke of the Devils. During the season, he wore number 88. A lot of people don't remember that, because the preferred number 19, was taken by a teammate, Alan Cote. While considered a front-runner for the Calder that year, an ankle injury forced him to miss 10 games in December, and a resulting scoring slump helped stop any hopes of winning the award. He finished his rookie season with 62 points in 70 games, and finished at 8th in voting for the Calder. Now, Ryan Leach won the Calder that year, while Sakic only received 2 third-place votes. Now, in 1990, he switched his number back to number 19 as Cote had retired over the year. He had 102 points in a very dismal squad. Now, in the start of next season, 91, he was named co-captain along with Stephen Finn, with Sakic for home games, Finn for away games, and again passed the 100-point mark, moving to 109 points and 6th overall in the league. Now, 92 down to 94 points, but still consistent. Early on in the season, he basically spoke out about the Eric Lindros non-trade and said, listen, we only want players who have the passion to play the game. I'm tired of hearing that name. He's not here, and there's a lot of others in the locker room who really care about the game. Now, Lindros was eventually traded, ending the situation, bringing in a number of players, which vastly improved the Nordiques and eventually led to the Stanley Cup Championship in a few years when, unfortunately, Quebec moved to Colorado. Now, starting in '93, he became the sole captain of the franchise. Under his leadership, he made the playoffs for the first time in 6 years, only a lose to Montreal in the first round. That year, he had 105 points, another 6 in the playoffs. Now, he came close to the scoring title in the shortened season of '95, and '96 he led the team to the division title. Now, eventually, unfortunately, first division title since '86. So that 94-5 season was tremendous, but unfortunately, the end of it was terrible. Colorado was calling, and he announced in May '95 Quebec that the team had been sold as were relocating. Now, before the start of the '96 season, they officially moved to Denver and were named the Colorado Avalanche. Now, in that first year, of course, he led the team to a Stanley Cup title, 120 points in a regular season. Now, during the run for the Cup, he scored 18 goals, including 6 game winners and 34 points. He was 1 goal off for the record for goals in a playoff year, but his game-winning goals established a new record. Now, '97, he led Avalanche to the President's Trophy, but they lost in 6 games in Detroit. Eventually, in the offseason, he signed a big deal with Colorado after a 3-year, $21 million offer sheet from the Rangers was first speculated. Now, under the collective bargaining agreement at the time, the Avalanche had 1 week to match the Rangers' offer or let go of Sakic in exchange for 5 first-round picks as compensation. While it seemed the Avs could not afford to keep Sakic, he's already committed large amounts of salary to Peter Forsberg and Patrick Roy, and a likely lifeline would appear in the form of the movie Air Force One. produced by Avalanche owners Comstat, and a blockbuster hit that summer. Its profits enabled Colorado to match the offer, which instigated a salary raise for many NHL players. Put it this way, that's a true story. But 5 first-round draft picks as compensation. I think the Rangers were willing to give up way too much, and Colorado had to match it, but it seemed the right deal, even though they could have used the 5 players. Now, injuries have been a little hazard for Sakic. Sometime he was 98. He hurt it at the Olympics, actually, for Team Canada 88, where he finished 4th place. Now, in 64 games, he did play, and he still scored 62 points, which became his 7th All-Star appearance. Now, injury-free in 99, he had 41 goals in only 73 games, and led the Avalanche all the way to winning 1 game of the Stanley Cup Finals, where he lost eventual champ Dallas. Now, at the end of the year, of course, the Hockey News list of top 100 came out, and he was named 94th. Obviously, it'd be much higher now. Now, another injury-plagued year, but he hit the 1,000 point mark in December 27th, 99. Now, he also scored a hat-trick on March 23rd, 2000 against Phoenix, which gave him 400 career goals, make him the 59th player overall to do that. Now, he also passed Peter Stastny as the all-time leader on the team for points with 1,049 because of that hat-trick. Now, he again eclipsed the 100-point mark in 2001 with 118 points and a career-best 54 goals. He won the Hart that year and the Lester B. Pearson, of course, for MVP. He was also a finalist for the Frank J. Selke Trophy. Now, that year he won the 2nd Stanley Cup, defeating the defending title holders New Jersey in 7 games. Now, memorably, after receiving the cup from NHL Commissioner Joe Sakic, he broke with tradition, from Gary Bettman. Sakic broke with tradition by not hoisting it first, as most captains do, instead passing the cup straight to Ray Bourque, who had moved over from Boston to Colorado in hopes of winning a title after 2 decades, and it was a great moment in NHL history. Now, he led the Avalanche in scoring again in 2002 with 79 points, and March 9, 2002, he played his 1,000th career game. Now, again, injuries were still a hassle. In the following year, he only played 58 games, and but rebounded the following year with 3rd in points with 87. Now, following the lockout of 2005, he lost many of their key players on the Avalanche to the salary cap. Even with Forsberg and Adam Foote gone, he still helped the Avalanche get into the playoffs, where he eventually lost the Anaheim Ducks in the semifinals, the conference semifinals. Now, June 2006, he signed a new deal with Colorado, who kept him for 2007. Now, upon his retirement of Steve Yzerman a month later, on July 3rd, 2006, he became the league leader for most NHL career points scored among active players. Now, the 2007 season was another strong one for him. He scored his 600th career goal on February 15, 2007 against Calgary, making him the 17th player in history to reach the milestone. Now, on the final day of the regular season, he had his 100 point, again setting the pace for the 6th time in his career. Now, at the time, Sakic became the 2nd oldest NHL player to score 100 points in a season at age 37, behind Gordie Howe. Now, despite his efforts as well as late season charge, Sakic and the Avalanche missed the playoffs for the first time in 11 years, finishing 1 point behind the 8th place Calgary Flames. Now, he was also a Lady Byng finalist that year. Now, in April 2007, he signed on for his 19th NHL season for Colorado. And he basically was saying at this time, it's all a bunch of one-year contracts, so I have to take it 1 year at a time. Now, he eventually passed Phyllis Mazzito in points with 50 and 91, with a goal and assist against San Jose on October 7th, 2017. And he reached a 1,600 point mark just a few days later in a game-winning goal against Calgary. Now, on December 27, 2007, it was announced that Sakic underwent hernia surgery to accelerate the recovery of an injury that forced him to miss the previous 12 games after a 232 consecutive games playing streak. Now, Because of this, he missed 38 games, but he basically came back and to score his 1,000 career assists against the Oilers on March 22nd, 2008, becoming the 11th player to reach the milestone. Now, again, the one-year contracts continued. GM Francois Giguère and him worked out a process where we could look at 1 year at a time to stay with the squad, and eventually retired after 2 more seasons on July 9th, 2009. Now, the Avalanche retired his jersey, number 19, prior to the 2010 season opener on October 1st, with a C on the banner to represent his lengthy service as team captain. Now, he's also named the inaugural member of the Avalanche Alumni Association. Now, 13-time All-Star, and he played in 12 of them, serving as captain for 2, the last in 2007, with a point in at least 11 of them. Now, he was the MVP of the 2004 game after scoring a hat-trick, despite the Western Conference losing the game. He's the all-time assist leader in All-Star games with 16, and third place in all-time with scoring with 22, behind Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. His best record in the All-Star game was in 2007 when he scored 4 assists for the winning team, but however the MVP award was given to Daniel Briere, a goal and 4 assists. Now, on the international level, we talked about that for a second. He represented Canada at 7 international competitions, including winning the 1988 World Juniors and the 91 World Championships. Also, he helped Canada win silver. Now, he did try out for the 91 Canada Cup Canadian team, but was the first player to be cut, being cited for his weak leg strength. Sakic was bitter about the experience, feeling he was not given a good enough chance to prove himself, and called the whole experience a complete waste of time. Now, is Steve Larmer better than Joe Sakic? Of course not. But Steve Larmer played that Joe Sakic role on the team. I think 91 was stacked because he had Lindros there as well. It's just a matter of fact, they only needed 13 players. He was number 14. But he was still a young guy, so it's like Theo Fleury getting cut for Team Canada. It happens. Now, his first successful professional tournament was the 94 World title, where World Title event when Canada won its first gold medal in the tournaments in 61. So look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Also, already World Junior Champion, World Hockey Championships. Now, he won that with 7 points in 8 games, which were a crucial part of the team's success. Now, in the World Cup of Hockey, he didn't have as much of a major role in the series, with only a goal and 2 assists as he finished second behind the States. Now, it also showed that he was a dominant player, but was being overlooked, and that's what was happened. But here's where the fun started. The first Olympic appearance came in '98 in Nagano, where he had a bad tournament, only 3 points in 4 games, bothered by, again, that knee. And, of course, Team Canada losing to Hasek in the shootout, he finished 4th. Now, second appearance came successful gold medal, had one of the key games late in the contest against the States that helped him secure the title. And he became one of the first Canadian members of the Triple Gold Club, which represents Stanley Cup, World titles, and Olympic titles. Now, he also helped Canada to a gold medal at the 2004 World Cup of Hockey, where he had 6 points in 6 games. Now, he was captain for Team Canada 2006 Winter Olympics in Turin. Unfortunately, had a bad tournament, finishing 7th. Now, post-playing career, it has been pretty busy. He decided to take time off hockey to spend time with his family upon retirement, but 2 years later, he returned the Avalanche to work in the front office, and again, many roles: executive advisor, alternate governor, and especially effective at the end of the 2011 season. Now, as an alternate governor, of course, he would represent the team at the Board of Governors meetings. Again, beauty induction into Hall of Fame in 2012. But other than Sundin, Bury, and Oates, he had a Stanley Cup title to put in his jacket when he got his jacket. And he was as the only member of the class to win a Stanley Cup during his career. Now, the Avalanche promoted Sakic to Executive Vice President in 2013. Now, in this expanded role, he had the final say in all matters regarding hockey personnel. Now, during Patrick Waugh's time as head coach, he shared most of the duties normally held by a GM. Now, General Manager Greg Sherman remained in his post, but served mainly as an advisor to Ron Sakic. The de facto agreement was formalized the following season, where when Sakic was formally named GM and Sherman was demoted to assistant GM. Now, apart from his 2 years away from hockey, again, he spent nearly 3 decades plus with the Nordiques Avalanche organization as either player or the executive. Now, Sakic, in his spare time, big family man, an avid golfer, and he competes in various celebrity pro-am golf tournaments at different locations across the world. Each summer, he also hosts his own charity golf tournament, which benefits the food bank of the Rockies. In his charity work, which is estimated to have provided more than 7 million meals to poor children and families, earned him an NHL Foundation Player Award in 2007. Now, in Burnaby's hometown, he, of course, obviously very popular, Mr. Clutch had a street named after him called Joe Sakic Way in his honor, very Beatlesque. Now, throughout BC, he is affectionately known as Burnaby Joe. In Colorado, he's simply known as Super Joe. Now, his younger brother, Brian, very talented, joined the Swift Current Broncos during Joe's final season with the team and later played for the Flint Generals of the UHL. Now, he's also kind of a part-time actor. He has an incredible role in the movie Happy Gilmore as a player at hockey tryouts. So, Con Air saved him with Colorado, and Adam Sandler basically didn't teach him how to be a writer. But you know what this all comes down to, ladies and gentlemen? You know, the development system is quite easy, interesting. When he played with the Burnaby BC Selects, 156 points in 80 games in that 86 season, and that's what drew a lot of attention. And with the Swift Current squad, a lot of big numbers, as we say, nearly 500 goals over 150 goals over 2 seasons. So just to recap, ladies and gentlemen, from 89 to 08. Just to recap here, just the goals. 23, 39, 48, 29, 48, 28, 19, 51, 22, 27, 41, 28, 54, 26, 26, 33, 32, 36. And just like Abe Simpson would say, that's a record you can set your clock to. And Team Canada Olympics, Olympic Games gold 2002, world title gold and silver 94 and 91. World Cup gold and silver 04 and 96. World Junior 88 gold for Canada. Again, final NHL totals: 1378 games, 1641 points, 625 goals, 1,016 points. So almost an assist a game pace. The playoffs, 100. This is like Maurice Richard numbers: 188 points in 172 games, 84 goals. And Team Canada internationally, 48 games, 22 goals, 19 assists for 41 points. And again, All-Star games played in Pittsburgh, Chicago, Philly, Montreal, New York, Boston, Vancouver, Toronto, Denver, LA, St. Paul, and Dallas. 1990, 91, 92, 93, 94, 96, 98, 2000, 1, 2, 4, and 7. And again, numerous milestones, too lengthy to go over, but we'll just give you the short list. WHL and CHL. Rookie of the Year in the WHL, East Player of the Year, East Second All-Star Team in 87. Bobby Clark Trophy, leading scorer in 88 in WHL. CHL Player of the Year, 88. WHL Player of the Year, 88. WHL East First All-Star Team, 88. NHL. Stanley Cup champion, 96 and 01. Connie Smythe, 96. Mac Award, most assists with children, 98. Bud Light Plus Minus Award winner, 2001, and that year won the Hart, the Lester B. Pearson, the Lady Bing, and the first All-Star team like 02 and 04. All-Star Game MVP in 2004. NHL Sheraton Road Performer of the Year, most road points, 2004, and NHL Foundation Award, 2007. And again, Winter Olympics MVP and All-Star Game in 2002. Everybody remembers the great Bob Cole announcement. Now, Joe's character is best to be described, walk quiet and carry a big stick. He's got the respect of the peers and his media, and he showed that major leadership with Swift Current, especially after the accident. But if you're looking at a person that you can rely on to give you the truth about hockey, like when he spoke or the way he played, people listen, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Joe Sakic again. And you get to a different level. The greatest athletes in Canadian history have these traits. He's a top 30 Canadian athlete of all time, in my personal opinion. And the ones above him, you're talking Connickers, you're talking Gretzky's, Lafleur's, you're talking athletes like Donovan Bailey, you're talking, basketball players like Steve Nash. When you talk Joe Sakic, that's the elite of the elite. Not the greatest Canadian athlete of all time, but I mean, who can be? Because there's still a debate that'll never be done. But if I'm looking for somebody to build a team around, I want a Gretzky, I want a Guy Lafleur, I want a Richard, and I want a Joe Sakic. And Joe Sakic and Steve Yzerman, having them both in the league at the same time, kind of took the pressure off Mario and Wayne and everybody else, and Jagger as well, because this is not a disrespect. There's an elite 5-star superstar like Gretzky and Lemieux, even Sidney Crosby, but Joe Sakic is 4.5, because it's not just the points on the ice, it's the points off the ice, the points he makes by leadership, by just being who he is. And he was never a dirty player. I don't remember any occasion where he deliberately tried to hurt somebody, deliberately tried to, fuck somebody up. I mean, it's not there. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is another request we had for one of the followers of our channel. We appreciate all the likes, comments, subscriptions, and requests that we get. Sorry it's a little bit long, but it's Joe Sakic. He deserves a half an hour. He deserves 7,000 days to explain every great moment he did in hockey. Thanks for listening. Bye.